Not too happy about the strike because they finish at half day today, so it's a bit problem for me to pick them up. I'm gonna have to get someone else to pick them up for me. At least he's open, yeah, for a couple of hours.
You know there's an official strike today.
That's right.
Yeah.
Do you want to leave? Tells you why we're going on strike.
95% of schools in Hackney are closed today. This is one of the few that isn't shut.
There's been a skeleton staff gone in and a small number of pupils, but we've had a good discussion with a lot of people going in, and they seem to be fairly supportive of our cause. We've been told that by one of the teachers that she's a supply teacher. Bringing in agency staff specifically to break a strike is illegal, so therefore we'd be very interested to find out who the agency is and how many staff they've brought in to try and break the strike. Morning.
It's all right, we're not stopping the kids across the picket line.
Do you know why we're on strike?
She's just been watching the news, and you know, I was telling her, like, you should be pretty happy that your teacher's actually gone in, and you know.
Well, we're not happy. I'm not happy about it.
No, well, that's
I mean,
my way, because of how much she's had to go through in the past couple of years.
It's the standard of the education. Remember when we all stood together and we fought against the cuts in this school? This is the same thing. It's the same thing but on a bigger scale. I know it's really hard.
I think the school should be closed. That's what I think.
You're a parent?
Yes, I'm a parent. But his teacher come, and so I have to bring in my son, because if I didn't bring in him, he will have absent. So
we want to broaden it out, so it's not just about pensions, but it's about cuts. It's about cuts to EMA. It's about cuts to young people's services, mass unemployment.
Yeah, I think it's important to understand that, you know, people felt it was really important that whilst they're out on strike, they didn't want to put Londoners at risk. So by volunteering to do the most life-threatening cause, they're out there protecting Londoners at the same time trying to protect their pensions, and I think that's a key message. It's just general society now. They seem to see public sector workers as people who are taking something, rather than the truth being that they're giving something. They're giving more to society than your average banker ever gives to society. And also what's got to forgotten is that the people working here and working in the public sector pay taxes. We're financing our pensions as well as everybody else. People seem to forget that we pay tax.
Well, I think the government are finding it difficult to portray us in a bad light, because there's been so much coverage of the money that they've given to bankers. There's been a lot of coverage on the television about PFI hospitals and how much money has actually gone out to private companies that should have stayed within the NHS. That it's actually their arguments don't really wash with people. I've spent the last couple of weeks talking to patients. Once you explain that you give up the right to have high wages all your working life in the hope that when you retire you'll get a decent pension, and now we're being asked to pay more for our pensions. We're being asked to work longer for less pay. There's a pay freeze, and now we're being told pay is going to be capped. So I think the government is finding it quite difficult to vilify us. They will try.
This is a magnificent display of solidarity of 29 or even 30 trade unions. We've got 257 workers in that building behind the Hackney Empire. Only 14 of them have gone into work today. The government of millionaires are determined to make us pay for a crisis that none of us caused. Well, they may be determined, we're even more determined. And I'll tell you something, we should send a message. It doesn't stop here. There'll be more strike action. We should start getting together, planning what we're going to do next, and sending a message to the likes of Osborne and the likes of Cameron that we won't be standing up for this and we won't pay for their crisis. Solidarity, brothers and sisters.
We hate Tories and we hate Tories. We are the Tory haters. Get your Morning Star, sponsored by the trade unions. Free Morning Star.
Saves me a few quid.
Morning Star, man.
Get your placard for the demonstration.
Take your placards. We strike together today.
Do your strike special edition of the Socialists.
If you're here for the march, we ask you to carry on down to Remnant Street, which is second on the left. Sign the petition.
Right to London pensioners. Well, it looks quite good. Thanks very much. I'm a member. Oh, lovely. I've only got one left. So I'll keep that there and we can raise a few quid for the pensioners.
Indeed we can. Well, I'm a retired teacher.
Oh, good.
I'm out.
I saw current teachers here, plenty.
Oh yeah, they're here.
Yeah, right, mate. We don't get 12 weeks off a year. What's the protest for? For what? School teachers and...
You're not very sympathetic, yeah?
No, not really. Not really, no.
Who's teaching my children at school today? No one.
My daughter's 9 and I've got to pay extra childcare for someone to look after her and get her there as well and get her home. But they don't think about that.
For me, it's more than just my pension. It's teachers not being taken seriously, teachers not being respected for the job we do, and we do a good job.
She's been ripped off by the vultures.
Yes.
They wouldn't have gone to school even if their school hadn't been shut. I wasn't going to let them scab on a day like this. It should teach them to fight for what they need in the future, won't it?
Keep moving. Okay, that's it, thank you. What's it like to do anything like this? A nightmare, but it's got to be done, okay? And if you could just get backwards a bit, please, we can get on with the march. Thank you.
Yeah, everyone in the public sector is in a much more advantageous position than everyone in the private sector. Lots of them do very useful things, but they don't actually produce anything, or they don't generate any revenues. And that's how someone has to pay for their pensions, and we can't afford it.
What line of work are you in yourself?
I'm a banker, so.
You're the people that teach our kids, heal our sick, care for our vulnerable and our elderly, encourage our youth, clean our streets, collect our refuge. You are the people that create the very fabric of the civilised communities in which we live. How dare they attack you?
Our message to our members is thank you for today, but be prepared for tomorrow. This struggle may take longer, but win it we will.
I want to tell politicians, every constituency there is a nurse, there is an NHS worker. There is 1 million of us. If you mess us up, you will mess your seat up. Watch it, because we will pay you back. So don't condemn us to pension poverty.
I want you to do one thing, believe. Believe in your values, believe in your unions, believe in working class solidarity, and justice will prevail. Good luck, comrades.
Lovely to meet you. Lovely to meet you. Cheers to pizza. Oh, no, pleasure. Well, it's absolute privilege to have you.